By the end of this episode, you are going to understand and be able to implement 3 simple mindsets to help you achieve financial freedom. And you're also going to understand how to implement my top 3 investments to achieving great wealth for protecting your wealth, building your wealth, and increasing your passive income. Okay, so let's get straight into the episode. This is one I'm very excited about sharing with you today. Now, probably you're thinking, who are you to tell me how you can become rich? Well, I'm going to give you a very, very quick breakdown. My name's Future Investments. I'm an investor in the United Kingdom. My passion and hobby is without a doubt building generational wealth and passive income. And I've done that by teaching myself. Now, some ways I've done that is by reading these fantastic books that you can see in the backdrop here. We've got books such as The Compound Effect and How to Own the World. Brilliant books that have really taught me great keys to becoming truly wealthy. Now, I have achieved some fairly good success for my age, considering I haven't been investing for even a decade. And for me, I'm continuing on that long-term plan of building high amounts of wealth on a low-risk, long-term plan. And by the end of this video, I'm hoping I can show you how to implement 3 mindsets and 3 simple investments to truly becoming rich. Okay, so let's get straight to the point. First of all, for me, the priority of this has to be your mindset. This comes in at number 1. If you do not have the mindset to be able to commit and stay consistent, then this is not even worth starting. You really have to believe and you really have to find your why as to why you want to achieve this wealth. It's all very well saying you just want to become rich, but you really need a purpose. You need some strong background reason to really give you that mindset, the reason why. Because if you don't have that, when things get hard and you don't start seeing the results that you want straight away, it will be far too easy to give up. So number 1, you need to have the mindset. So on the topic of mindset, we're going to move on to number 2, commitment. You need to commit. Everybody has fantastic ideas. Everybody has this brilliant idea to start a business, to start implementing this into their lifestyle. Maybe you do on day 1, day 2, or even week 3 and 4. You've slightly started doing what you wanted to do. But commitment is all about really sticking to your guns, not giving up when times get tough and not slacking off when things get easy. So number 2 under the mindset bracket is commitment. You really need to be committed. Now on to number 3, consistency. This is extremely important. Consistency compounds, and if you don't stay consistent, you will not see a fantastic pot at the end of your goal. And the thing with consistency is, over incremental periods of time, you don't see any changes. In fact, you see next to none. But they are, in fact, happening. A case in point would be when you go to the gym. If you train every day for months, you won't really see any beneficial change. But at the end of the year, or even more so, when you bump into someone you haven't seen for maybe 1 year or a year and a half, the first thing they normally say to you is, have you been going to the gym? And that is the very same reason why it's important to stay consistent with investing. It's really, really important because it helps you build so much wealth and control into your investment plan by implementing small, simple ideas over a long period of time, but staying consistent. So we've got mindset, we've got commitment, and we've got consistency. I've used these and I've implemented them in my own life, and it really has set me on a trajectory that has proven to really increase my net worth, my balance on my investment portfolio, and my own personal happiness in my life. Now, some points I would like to add is that reading is absolutely important. I think as an investor, you're always learning. And I think even when you become, let's say, seasoned or experienced, it's always important to be open to learn. And a great way to do that is by reading books. And that's why I've got these ones in the backdrop here. Two fantastic books that I would recommend here are The Compound Effect. It teaches you how to implement small changes on a regular basis, which end up leading to the compound effect of having an astronomical change at the end of the goal. And you can implement that with everything from your marriage with your partner, how you see your family, how you see your friends, or on the finance side of things. The compound effect really is one of the secret ways to building true wealth. And another book we can see here is called How to Earn the World by Andrew Craig. This is a slightly larger book, a bit more diversified, but it really gives you an interesting view on how you can spread your investments to cover your risk. And that's really important. Diversification is so important. So when we talk about reading, that comes under the mindset category. When we move back towards commitment, it's all about choosing your investments. You need to choose what investments are right for you. Now, I am going to be suggesting 3 of my top investments later on in this episode, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be the right investments for you. Some of them may be, however, but some of them may not. So when it comes to commitment, you need to choose what investment fits your investment plan and desires. Everyone's different, everyone's circumstances are different, so you can use this video to give you a guide, but have a think and commit to your chosen investments. And going on to consistency compounds. We know that compound consistency leads to success. It's pretty simple, but the key is staying consistent. That moment when you think you want to have a day off or you can't be bothered is the moment the consistency fails. And that's the difference between the winners and the losers. Okay, so now we've gone over the really important topic of mindset. We're now going to get on to my top 3 investments. Now, the thumbnail of this video is, of course, stating gold is key. And that's absolutely true, because coming in at number 1, gold is in my top 3 investments. Gold for me is my protection device. Now, gold is one of, if not the best wealth preservation devices to look after your capital. Not only does gold preserve your wealth, but it actually protects it against inflation. Where fiat money is constantly printed and inflation is rife, the spending power of fiat cash devalues. So that means your buying power now will be significantly less in months or years down the line. Gold, however, goes up with inflation, not down. So I use gold in my investment portfolio as my protection device. While my other investments are working hard for me in the background, accumulating wealth, gold is protecting my wealth. Not only that, but there's huge benefits to gold, being that if you buy capital gains tax exempt pieces, you can invest without having to pay any tax upon sale. And that's a very nice thing to have. Moving on to number 2, index funds. Specifically for this episode, I'm going to recommend the S&P 500 Vanguard Investment Fund. Now, you can get this on an accumulating or a dividend paying fund. Essentially, an accumulating one is where the interest is reinvested back into your account, or if you choose dividends, that's where on a quarterly period your investment interest is paid out to you. Now, me personally, I like having mine on an accumulating fund because I think that that's the best way for building wealth. That's essentially why I have the index fund. It's for building wealth. And again, this comes back to the compound effect. If you invest on a regular, consistent monthly basis, your investment capital will be invested. Then what tends to happen with something like the S&P 500 is you start making money on your investment. And then eventually you're making money off of the interest you've made on your investment. So you've initially put in your own money to create wealth, but by doing that, you've earned interest. And by doing that, the interest is then earning money from interest. And that's essentially a cycle of how the compound effect works on building wealth through index funds. The S&P 500 historically has proven to be a very fantastic investment for increasing wealth over a long-term basis. It's also considered to be medium to low risk, so it's great for hands-off investors. So number 2 is index funds. And 3 for me just as important, is rental property, passive income. Now, this is something I'm working on adding to my investment portfolio. It's something that's absolutely crucial for me because it really does generate a form of passive income. While you've got gold working in the background, protecting your wealth, you've got index funds building your wealth, you can have rental income property generating you passive income, which allows you more money to reinvest or to spend on loved ones or yourself to have some enjoyment. To do this, you do need a rather large deposit. Here in the United Kingdom, you need around 25% of the property's value to have it as a buy-to-let property. But once you have achieved that, that is a real source of generating true wealth. Not only do you receive passive income from your rental income, but you also build up equity in your property. And over a long-term period, this can really compound into vast amounts of money. And the reason I choose these specific 3 investments, why they're my top 3, is because it works for me on a long-term, relatively low-risk plan. And I believe it's a well-diversified portfolio. Of course, there are other investments where you can potentially gain more yielding better results on a quicker basis, something like crypto, but there is obviously lots of risk with that. So like I said earlier on, when it comes to commitment, choose the investments that work for you. But that's my top 3 investments on building true wealth. And that's also my top 3 mindset strategies on building true wealth. And I truly believe by implementing these 3 individual mindset developments and 3 investments into your portfolio over a medium to long term plan, you can accumulate some serious wealth, which will in turn lead you to becoming rather rich. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. It's been a fantastic one to film today. Thank you so much for your time. Please let me know in the comment section if you've enjoyed it, and I'd love to hear what investments you have or what investments you'll consider investing in going forward. Thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the very next episode. Bye-bye.